Have you ever woken up in the morning feeling dizzy, lightheaded, or with a pounding headache? Even though you thought you had a good night's sleep, maybe you've noticed that your heart races, your vision feels blurry, or you have this strange feeling of pressure in your head. Most people blame it on age, stress, or even just sleeping wrong. But what if I told you there's one specific sleeping position that could be quietly increasing your risk of a stroke every single night without you even realizing it? This might sound dramatic, but as someone who has spent years studying how the brain works and how strokes happen, I was absolutely shocked when I first learned about this connection. It's not something most doctors talk about during a regular checkup, and it's definitely not in the little pamphlets you get at the clinic. Yet, according to research and real-life cases I've encountered, this is a very real danger, especially for people over the age of 4 or 5. The way you position your head, neck, and body while you sleep can affect how blood flows to and from your brain. Over time, the wrong sleeping posture can cause pressure on your arteries, reduce oxygen to your brain, and even encourage the formation of tiny blood clots. And here's the scariest part. You won't feel it happening. You'll simply close your eyes at night thinking you're getting the rest you need, while your brain is under silent stress for hours at a time. By the time symptoms show up, it might be too late to reverse the damage. Now, before we get into which sleeping position is the most dangerous and how you can fix this tonight, let me quickly explain why stroke risk is such a serious issue as we age. A stroke happens when blood flow to part of the brain is blocked or when a blood vessel bursts. Without oxygen and nutrients, brain cells begin to die within minutes. This is why strokes can lead to sudden weakness, slurred speech, loss of vision, or even paralysis. According to the CDC, strokes are the 5th leading cause of death in the United States and a major cause of long-term disability. Here's what's even more alarming. About 80% of strokes are preventable. That means, in most cases, lifestyle factors like diet, activity level, and yes, even sleeping position can make a massive difference. Unfortunately, many people are completely unaware of how their nighttime habits might be silently increasing their risk. I remember working with a patient, let's call him Robert, who was 62 years old. He was otherwise healthy, didn't smoke, and kept his blood pressure under control. But one morning, he woke up with weakness on one side of his face and couldn't move his left arm. After tests, we discovered he had suffered a mild stroke overnight. When we reviewed his habits, one detail stood out. He had been sleeping in a position that compressed one of the main arteries in his neck for hours at a time. Over months, this pressure weakened the artery wall and made it easier for a clot to form. His stroke wasn't random. It was silently building night after night. This is why it's so important for you to know this information. You don't need to panic, and you don't need to change every little thing about your routine. But once you understand how your body works and which positions are dangerous, you can make simple adjustments that protect your brain while you sleep. Now, let's talk about what actually happens in your body when you lie down to rest. When you're upright during the day, gravity naturally helps your blood flow evenly throughout your body. Your heart pumps blood upward to your brain, and your veins carry used blood back down. But when you lie flat, especially if your head and neck are twisted or bent, gravity works differently. Certain positions can create pressure points or even partial blockages in your blood vessels. Think of it like a garden hose. When the hose is straight, water flows smoothly, but if you kink the hose even slightly, water pressure builds up behind the bend. The same thing happens inside your body. If a vein or artery is compressed for hours while you sleep, blood flow slows down, and that's when problems like clotting or poor oxygen delivery can begin. Now, you might be wondering, which sleeping position is the worst offender? Many people assume it's something unusual, but the truth is, it's one of the most common positions out there. Sleeping flat on your stomach with your head turned sharply to one side is especially dangerous. This position forces your neck into a twisted angle, putting direct pressure on the carotid arteries, which are the main highways carrying blood to your brain. Over time, this constant strain can cause tiny tears in the artery wall, creating the perfect spot for a clot to form. If that clot travels to your brain, it can block blood flow completely, and that's how a stroke happens. But here's where it gets even more surprising. Even sleeping flat on your back can be risky if you don't have the right pillow support. When your head tilts backward too far, it can slightly narrow your airway, which not only affects breathing but can also change blood circulation patterns. This is one reason why people with sleep apnea are at a much higher risk for strokes and heart problems. Side sleeping, especially on your left side, is generally considered safer, but there's a catch. If you curl into a very tight fetal position, you may still restrict blood flow in certain areas. It's not just about the side you choose, it's about the alignment of your head, neck, and spine. The good news is, small changes can make a huge difference. For example, using a pillow that keeps your head level with your spine can reduce artery compression and improve blood flow. If you tend to sleep on your stomach, try gradually training yourself to sleep on your side instead. You can even use a body pillow to make the transition more comfortable. It might feel strange at first, but your brain and heart will thank you in the long run. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, I've been sleeping this way for decades, and I've never had a problem. That's exactly what most people say, until something happens. The tricky thing about stroke risk is that the damage builds up silently over time. You don't get a warning sign every night. Instead, tiny changes add up until one day, the system fails. One key factor that makes sleeping position even more critical is age. After the age of 45, our blood vessels naturally become less flexible. Plaque buildup from cholesterol and inflammation can narrow the arteries, making them more vulnerable to damage from external pressure. Combine that with poor circulation from diabetes, high blood pressure, or simply years of wear and tear, and you've got a perfect storm for a nighttime stroke. Another overlooked factor is hydration. Your blood naturally thickens when you're dehydrated, which makes it easier for clots to form. If you go to bed slightly dehydrated and then lie in a position that restricts blood flow, the risk multiplies. That's why I often recommend my patients drink a small glass of water about 30 minutes before bedtime. Not so much that it disrupts your sleep with bathroom trips, but enough to keep your blood at a healthy consistency. Here's something else to consider. Strokes don't always announce themselves with dramatic symptoms right away. Sometimes, the signs are subtle. You might notice temporary vision changes, difficulty speaking, or a sudden bout of clumsiness that lasts only a few minutes. These are called mini-strokes, or TIAs, transient ischemic attacks. They're like your body's warning shot. If you experience anything like this, it's a red flag that something needs to change immediately. That in just a moment, I'm going to share specific, step-by-step adjustments you can make to create a stroke-safe sleeping environment tonight. We'll talk about the exact type of pillow and mattress that support healthy circulation, as well as a few bedtime habits that can dramatically reduce your risk. But before we move on, let me leave you with this. Your brain is your most precious organ. You can't replace it, and the quality of your sleep directly affects its health. Don't wait for a health scare to take action. The choices you make tonight could determine the clarity of your mind and the strength of your body for years to come. So stay with me, because in the next part, I'll reveal the most effective strategies to protect your brain while you sleep, including how to identify hidden stroke warning signs that most people miss and how to fix them before it's too late. If you care about keeping your brain sharp and your body strong, don't miss what's coming next. Now that you understand the dangers of certain sleeping positions and how they silently increase stroke risk, let's go step by step through what you can do tonight to keep your brain safe while you rest. Remember, these changes don't need to be complicated or expensive. Even small tweaks can make a life-changing difference. The very first thing to address is your pillow. Many people don't realize that the wrong pillow height is one of the biggest contributors to poor blood circulation during sleep. If your pillow is too high, it forces your neck forward, compressing the arteries that supply your brain. If it's too flat, your head tilts backward, narrowing your airway and affecting both breathing and blood flow. The ideal pillow keeps your head and spine perfectly aligned, like a straight line from your tailbone to the top of your head. For side sleepers, a slightly thicker pillow works best to fill the space between your head and the mattress. For back sleepers, a medium pillow is ideal. It should support the natural curve of your neck without pushing your chin down toward your chest. If you're a stomach sleeper, I strongly encourage you to start transitioning to side sleeping. You can place a body pillow in front of you to hug and prevent rolling back onto your stomach. Next, let's talk about mattress support. A sagging or overly soft mattress may feel cozy at first, but it can cause your spine to sink out of alignment, leading to poor circulation and pressure on key arteries. You don't necessarily need a brand new mattress. Sometimes adding a firm topper can make a big difference. The goal is to keep your spine neutral, with no major dips or twists. This position encourages smooth blood flow and reduces the chances of compression on your neck and shoulders. But another simple but powerful change is adjusting the position of your head while you sleep. Many people stack 2 or 3 pillows under their head, thinking it will make them more comfortable. Unfortunately, this can cause your neck to bend unnaturally, restricting blood flow to the brain. Instead, use just one properly supportive pillow and, if needed, place a small rolled towel or cervical pillow under your neck for added stability. This keeps the arteries in your neck open and free of unnecessary pressure. Now, let's go beyond positioning and look at bedtime habits that can protect your brain. Earlier, I mentioned how hydration plays a role in stroke prevention. Try drinking a small glass of water about 30 minutes before bed. This helps keep your blood at a healthy consistency throughout the night, lowering the chances of clot formation. Avoid alcohol right before sleep, as it can dehydrate you and disrupt the natural rhythms of your brain, increasing stroke risk over time. Another critical factor is nighttime blood pressure control. Blood pressure naturally dips while you sleep, but in some people, especially older adults, it can swing dramatically, either dropping too low or spiking too high. Both extremes increase stroke risk. If you take blood pressure medication, ask your doctor if evening dosing might be right for you. Some people benefit from taking their meds at night to maintain a more stable level while they sleep. Always follow your doctor's advice, but don't be afraid to ask questions about timing. It really can make a difference. Let's talk about sleep apnea for a moment, because this condition is one of the most overlooked stroke risk factors. Sleep apnea happens when your airway collapses during sleep, causing repeated pauses in breathing. Each time this happens, your brain is deprived of oxygen, and your blood pressure spikes as your body struggles to breathe again. Over time, this cycle severely damages blood vessels and dramatically increases the chance of a stroke. The tricky thing about sleep apnea is that many people don't know they have it. You might not even snore loudly, but if you wake up tired despite getting 7 or 8 hours of sleep, or if you often wake with a dry mouth or headache, it's worth getting checked. Simple lifestyle changes like losing a little weight, avoiding alcohol at night, and sleeping on your side can reduce apnea episodes. In some cases, a CPAP machine might be necessary, but the improvement in brain and heart health is absolutely worth it. While we're on the topic of side sleeping, I want to share a surprising fact. Research shows that sleeping on your left side may be slightly better for overall circulation, especially for people with heart issues. This position encourages better blood return to the heart and may reduce pressure on certain arteries. However, the most important thing is comfort and proper alignment. If sleeping on your right side feels better and keeps you asleep longer, that's perfectly fine. Just make sure your pillow and spine are properly supported. Here's a tip for those who wake up stiff or sore in the morning. Try gentle stretches before bed to relax the muscles around your neck and shoulders. Simple movements like slowly turning your head side to side, rolling your shoulders, and stretching your arms overhead can help relieve tension that might otherwise restrict blood flow while you sleep. It only takes 5 minutes, but the benefits can be remarkable. Another important strategy is maintaining a cool, comfortable sleep environment. When your bedroom is too warm, your body works harder to regulate temperature, which can increase nighttime stress on your cardiovascular system. Aim for a room temperature between 65 and 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Use breathable bedding, and consider a fan or open window for better airflow. When your body is comfortable, your blood vessels relax, making it easier for your brain to get the oxygen it needs. Let's shift gears for a moment and talk about recognizing the early warning signs of a stroke. Because even with perfect prevention, it's crucial to know what to do if something happens. Remember the acronym FAST. F is for face. If one side of the face droops when smiling, it's a warning sign. A is for arms. If one arm drifts downward when both are raised, that's a red flag. S is for speech. Slurred or strange speech needs immediate attention. T is for time. Call emergency services immediately. Every minute counts. Even if the symptoms disappear after a few minutes, do not ignore them. This could indicate a transient ischemic attack, or TIA, which is often a precursor to a major stroke. Prompt medical attention can literally save your life and prevent permanent brain damage. Now, you might be wondering, is there anything else I can do during the day to support healthy blood flow at night? Absolutely. Physical activity is one of the most powerful tools we have for stroke prevention. Even light exercise, like walking for 20 to 30 minutes a day, helps keep blood vessels flexible and reduces clotting risk. Combine this with a brain-friendly diet, rich in leafy greens, berries, nuts, and omega-3 fatty acids, and you create a strong foundation for nighttime brain health. If you have conditions like diabetes or high cholesterol, work closely with your healthcare provider to manage them effectively. These conditions directly impact the health of your blood vessels and can magnify the effects of poor sleeping positions. The more control you have over these factors, the safer your brain will be while you rest. I want to emphasize something very important here. Making these changes is not about fear or paranoia. It's about empowerment. Many people over 45 feel like their health is out of their hands, like they're just waiting for something bad to happen. But the truth is, you have more control than you think. By understanding how your body works and taking simple, consistent actions, you can dramatically reduce your risk and protect your independence for years to come. Think about the people who love and depend on you, your spouse, your children, your grandchildren. Taking care of your brain health isn't just for you, it's for them too. Imagine waking up each morning feeling clear-headed, energized, and confident, knowing you're doing everything possible to stay strong and healthy. Tonight, as you get ready for bed, I challenge you to pay close attention to how you position your head and neck. Notice the height of your pillow. Notice whether you're twisting or curling too tightly. These small details matter more than you realize. With just a little awareness and a few adjustments, you can turn sleep from a hidden risk into a powerful tool for healing and restoration. Before we close, let me recap the most important points. Avoid stomach sleeping and instead train yourself to sleep on your side or back with proper support. Use a pillow that keeps your spine straight and avoid stacking multiple pillows under your head. Stay hydrated, manage blood pressure, and watch out for sleep apnea. And most importantly, learn the fast warning signs and act immediately if they appear. Your brain is your most valuable asset. You only get one, and it deserves to be protected. The changes you make tonight could be the very thing that prevents a stroke tomorrow. If you found this information helpful, please share it with someone you care about. You never know whose life you might save. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more trusted tips on senior health and wellness. Together, we can create a future where aging doesn't mean decline, but rather strength, clarity, and vibrant living. Take action tonight. Your brain, your future, and your loved ones are counting on you.